The Chemiosmotic Model with Coach Ed by Drew Haynes and Christopher Luffey. Born September 29th, 1920 in Surrey, England, Peter Mitchell was responsible for creating the chemiosmotic theory and won a Nobel Prize for his hypothesis in 1978. Mitchell gave scientists in the 1960s an understanding on the currency of life, also known as ATP. ATP is the main source of energy transport for all cellular metabolic activities. Scientists were unaware how mitochondria were able to produce ATP until Mitchell made his life-changing discoveries. Now, I would like to present our guest speaker, Coach Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU Tigers. Hey guys, y'all want to hear about the origin of chemiosmotic theory? The idea behind the chemiosmotic model began as an exploration in ATP synthesis. Scientists in the 60s were stumped on how ATP was formed inside of the mitochondria, which sent many of them searching for clues. Many were unsuccessful until my boy Pete came along now. Through his research, Peter Mitchell came to the realization that a key step in ATP synthesis was possible thanks to chemiosmosis. He realized that ATP was not formed from simple phosphorylation, but instead was a complicated process involving NADH, FADH, hydrogen, ADP, phosphate groups, proton gradients, and so much more. Chemiosmosis is the idea that ATP is synthesized by the breakdown of energy-rich molecules such as glucose. These molecules are broken down into NADH and FADH2, which are responsible for setting the gradient. Energy from these high-energy electron carriers is used to create an electrochemical gradient across the inner membrane of mitochondria, which causes an attraction toward the outer membrane of mitochondria. It is very important that all of the molecules are in place. Just like a good bowl of gumbo, you gotta have all the ingredients. Electrons from NADH and FADH pass through a chain of carriers arranged in the inner membrane. This electron flow is accompanied by proton transfer, increasing the chemical and electrical gradient to its tipping point. This proton motive force provides the energy necessary for ATP synthesis. This reminds me a lot of the caniac I eat before game day. Gives me the energy I need to get the win down in Death Valley. ATP production. Energy is created by protons being pumped against a gradient from the inner layer to the outside layer of the mitochondria. After the pumping, a proton, hydrogen positive, gradient is formed. Hydrogen molecules in the reaction catalyze ADP and phosphates, which form ATP. Without the gradient, the ADP and phosphate groups would have no way of being catalyzed, and the cells would in turn have no energy. Now we gotta talk a little bit about energy production. Working together with processes such as the Krebs cycle and glycolysis, chemiosmosis is one of the most effective forms of ATP synthesis and overall energy production. It is an essential process to humans and other creatures that rely on chemiosmosis to produce ATP, and it is one of the most efficient means of ATP production. thank you for watching our video. And as always, go Tigers.